Aloha. Sorry about the lateness on the video. What we are just talking about was being able to utilize the fingers for the same purpose on the right hand or left hand. So the constant step is to look at things we do on the one fingering set and what we don't do on the other hand we could try and learn how to do. We've thus been talking about like hammer-ons and pull-offs, so I say those are noble to try. First finger on the first fret, third finger on the third fret, and then we just have a pull down and then a hammer-on. So trying to get them to come out loud and clear, and then we add and do pull-offs. You can do a pull-off with a note being there or a pull-off without the initial note. That would be a note. Or you can just have a quarter, 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 quarter. Either way, it's a great idea to try your second and fourth finger, and then your first and fourth, and then first and second. It's a builder, but what we don't want to do is get used to playing like this unless we're doing huge stretches, like full notes of being able to do our half step. So our, what is that? 4, 3, 2, 1 kind of movements. Other than that, try doing finger stretches, which are like your spider exercises. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go a half step with your pinky. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to strengthen that pinky and allow it to do awesomeness. And try and do some weirder, harder chords. Now, I know that you and I know that the E7 is not too terribly bad on the hand we're strong with. But on the other hand, it feels weird to take this E7 or G sharp diminish and then play it with the secondary fingering, move it up, and then play that bar. Try and work on that this week with just a weirder chord like that. You could also do it with the B minor 7 or the B7, big old bar on the second fret by itself, or a big old bar with our finger on the C, and see if we could scoot that up and down the fretboard and get all those notes to come out, right? Other than that, one of the things we were talking about working was trying to find the place on your fretboard where you know where you are. Mine feels like right here, and I put down my fingerings and I know that I'm gonna go to 8. So if I ever wanted to go to my 10 where my G is, I know that the finger that I'm going to play with is either going to be my first finger jumping in, or take my second finger and lay it down and go back just a little bit. And the way I do that is, I've done it a million times. So if you start the process now of playing something like C, G, D, G, E, G, anticipate the G here, G, G. You could do a slide with the finger you normally use to the pinky to get to the 10th fret. So you just start feeling that naturally rather than having to look at it. That's the first time through. Second time through, when you get to that G, you don't even have to play it. You can do the F, G, 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 A. G is open, so it gives you a second to get back and complete your scale. On the way down, heck, you can even, instead of going to that G there, you could go, since this G is here and you know that this G is here, that must mean that the other G is right here on the C string at the 7th fret. So incorporate that. Into your downward movement. It might not make a lot of sense now, but this really will help when trying to do melodies going from one scale and then moving over to a different quadrant, using the same notes but in a different fingering. F, G, A. If we absolutely know that these are all whole steps away from each other, the fingering that we learned down here for the C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C is a great way to omit the open notes. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, meaning C is open, E is open, A is open. If we use that same logic and we move our fingers so we're not playing open notes, we're able to move up one more note with the spider exercises. Well, if we move that quadrant over to right here and move our first finger to here, we now have that same C major scale that we use, but for D major all the way up. So the concept is our scales and modes move themselves. If we start the process now of seeing where the notes are, like a G or an F, we don't have to be relying on this G and this F to accomplish the same task. It was good seeing you. I'll see you next week. Aloha.